The 1980s marked the end of an era for British truck manufacturing, but in quarries and on construction sites, one name refused to fade away: Foden. These trucks, born in Sandbach, Cheshire, were built with a stubbornness that matched the men who drove them. While European imports promised comfort, Foden operators wanted trucks that simply would not die. Today, decades after production ceased, these workhorses still lumber on. This is the story of 10 Foden models from the 1980s that defied obsolescence and earned legendary status. Number 10. Foden S88 wheeler tipper, early 1980s. The S88 wheeler epitomised everything Foden stood for: solid, purposeful, and built for Britain's toughest jobs. Launched in 1972 but perfected through the decade, the S80 carried Foden's distinctive glass-reinforced plastic cab that could survive what would kill pressed steel. The split-screen cab was spacious, if Spartan, and while access through narrow doors required effort, drivers forgave this once they experienced the truck's relentless reliability. Under the fiberglass bonnet sat Gardner, Cummins, or Rolls-Royce diesels, engines chosen for longevity over performance. The 8 or 9-speed gearboxes derived from Foden's famous epicycle transmissions of the 1960s. Everything was overbuilt, front and rear, axles manufactured in-house at the Ellsworth Works, clutches and brakes designed for punishment, not convenience. Commercial Motor magazine called it the standard machine for traditional mineral and extraction fleets. That's where the S80 excelled. Quarries, construction sites, anywhere loads needed moving, regardless of conditions. Today, 40-plus-year-old S80s still work in agricultural settings, and with local hauliers who value dependability over modernity. They're slow, they're loud, and they absolutely will not quit. Number 9. Foden S83 tractor unit. The S83 represented Foden's evolution of the S80 concept into a highway-capable tractor unit. Introduced in 1975 at the Scottish Motor Show, the S83 served as the bridge between Foden's old-school approach and the coming Fleetmaster/Hallmaster generation. It carried the same GRP cab as the S80, the same indestructible componentry, but tuned for 32-ton gross operation, pulling trailers rather than tipper work. The S83's large single headlamps became iconic. Traditionalists loved them, while modernists mocked them. But operators appreciated what mattered. The S83 worked. Day after day, pulling steel, timber, aggregates and general freight, these tractors accumulated astronomical mileages. The combination of Gardner 6LX or 6LXB engines with Foden's own 8-speed gearbox created a powertrain that simply refused mechanical death. Yes, it was slow by European standards. Yes, the ride was harsh. But the S83 delivered what British hauliers needed in uncertain economic times: trucks they could afford to run and repair themselves. Today, preserved examples are cherished by enthusiasts who recognise the S83 as the last of the truly simple British tractors, crude, honest and virtually unkillable. Number 8. Foden Hallmaster S90. When Foden unveiled the Hallmaster at London's Europa Hotel in November 1977, the company gambled everything on this new generation. The S90 designation denoted the motor panel's pressed steel day cab, though most operators quickly switched to Foden's own composite GRP/steel cab for its weight advantages and corrosion resistance. The Hallmaster was Foden's answer to European competition, a proper 32-ton tractor unit designed to compete with the flood of Swedish and Dutch trucks invading British roads. The Hallmaster retained some Foden traditions while embracing modernity. Operators could specify Gardner engines for legendary fuel economy. The 8-speed Foden transmission was familiar to long-time customers, as was the worm drive rear axle. But the composite cab represented serious progress, quieter, roomier, and genuinely competitive with European offerings. Operators appreciated the deep windscreen ledge that became a Hallmaster trademark. Hallmaster survived because they straddled two worlds successfully. Traditional Foden customers got the reliability they trusted, while progressive operators found a truck that didn't embarrass them against Scanias and Volvos. The composite cab proved remarkably durable. Today, working Hallmasters still pull trailers for agricultural contractors who value their simple mechanical elegance. Number 7. Foden Fleetmaster S95. The Fleetmaster was Foden's flagship, the truck that would conquer export markets and prove British engineering could match the Europeans. The S95 designation indicated the sleeper cab version, crucial for long-distance work. Initially offered with motor panel steel construction, most operators quickly specified Foden's composite cab for weight savings and longevity. With its twin headlamps and modern styling, the Fleetmaster looked like it belonged in the 1980s. What set the Fleetmaster apart was its specification. This wasn't warmed-over 1960s technology. Foden fitted Fuller RTO 959A, 9-speed twin countershaft gearboxes, Rockwell hypoid bevel rear axles, and offered Rolls-Royce 290L or Cummins engines, producing 290 horsepower. The curb weight came in under 6.5 tonnes, even with 90 gallons of fuel. Road testers praised its fuel economy, build quality, and genuine driver appeal. The Fleetmaster's survival story is bittersweet. These trucks proved everything Foden claimed. Today, preserved Fleetmasters represent what British trucking lost. Genuinely competitive lorries destroyed not by poor design, but by economic forces. Number 6. Foden 4000 Series 4x2 tractor. By 1987, Foden operated under PACCAR ownership, but the 4000 series proved the Sandbach engineers still knew their craft. The new cab, researched from 1984 with extensive driver input, addressed every Hallmaster/Fleetmaster criticism. The 20-degree screen rake increased interior space while improving aerodynamics. Gone was the distinctive front ledge. The composite construction on a steel frame with aluminum doors remained wonderfully light and rust-proof. The 4000 series designation initially confused operators. 4000 referred to the cab series, while the final digits indicated engine power in 50 horsepower increments. Engine choices exploded. Cummins offered both the 10-litre LTAA 10-325 and 14-litre Super E320 and E350. Perkins supplied 325TX and 350TX Eagles. Gearbox options included 9 and 13-speed Eaton Fullers, the twin splitter, and ZF EcoSplit Synchromesh boxes. Today, 35-year-old examples still work daily, their composite cabs as solid as the day they were built. Number 5. Foden Alpha 4x2. The Alpha represented Foden's final evolution, essentially a rebadged DAF CF or XF with Foden cab highlights after PACCAR acquired Leyland DAF in 1998. Purists mourned the loss of Foden's engineering independence, but operators discovered these trucks combined DAF reliability with the option of Caterpillar, Cummins or Detroit diesel engines rather than DAF's standard PACCAR power units. The Alpha name deliberately evoked Foden heritage, while acknowledging this was something different. The cab was pure DAF, comfortable and modern in ways traditional Fodens never managed. The Foden badge still meant something in British quarrying and construction circles. It represented toughness, local heritage, and trucks built for work rather than image. Today, these trucks represent Foden's strange twilight period. They're not real Fodens to traditionalists, yet they carried the name proudly into the 21st century. Number 4. Foden 6x4 double drive tractor 1980s to 1990s. The 6x4 configuration represented Foden's specialty, tractors designed for maximum loading capability and traction. For many years, Foden refused to offer anything but 6x4 six-wheelers, believing this arrangement provided optimal kingpin loading and individual axle load tolerance. These trucks dominated heavy haulage, where twin-drive axles weren't optional, but essential. Whether in Hallmaster, Fleetmaster or 4000 series trim, Foden's 6x4 tractors earned reputations as unstoppable load pullers. The Packer AirTrack double-drive suspension, introduced mid-1980s, provided excellent traction while maintaining ride quality. Operators hauling steel coils, heavy machinery, or timber appreciated twin-driven axles on wet British roads. The lockable differentials meant these trucks could escape situations, leaving 4x2 tractors helpless. The survival of Foden's 6x4s reflects their specific application suitability. These weren't general freight trucks, but specialist tools for demanding work. Today, 1980s and 1990s, Foden 6x4s remain valuable tools in fleets unwilling to replace trucks that still perform flawlessly. Number 3. Foden 8x4 tipper chassis, 1980s to 2000s. If one configuration defined Foden's reputation, it was the 8-wheeled tipper. From quarries to construction sites, from concrete plants to demolition contractors, the distinctive shape of a Foden 8x4 became synonymous with hard graft. These trucks weren't built for image. They were designed to carry 20+ tons of aggregate concrete or demolition waste through punishing cycles that destroyed lesser vehicles within years. The 8x4 configuration provided maximum payload capacity within British gross weight limits. Foden's chassis engineering excellence showed here: frames that absorbed stress, axles that handled shock loads. Operators typically paired these chassis with steel or aluminum tipper bodies, then ran them until the bodies fell off before replacing the body and continuing with the same chassis. Foden 8x4 survive in astonishing numbers because their working environment eliminated weak designs quickly. Today, 1980s Foden 8x4s remain common in local tipper fleets, instantly recognisable and still working where much newer trucks have been scrapped. Number 2. Foden S106 Fleetmaster 6x4 1980s. The S106 designation indicated a Fleetmaster-based six-wheeler, typically specified for specialist applications requiring twin-drive axles but not 8-wheeler capacity. These trucks found homes in heavy general freight, block delivery with crane bodies, and anywhere operators needed more capability than 4x2 offered but didn't require full 8x4 payload. The S106 combined Fleetmaster refinement with 6x4 practicality. S106 specifications mirrored Fleetmaster tractors, but with strengthened chassis and twin-drive rear axles. Operators typically chose Cummins or Rolls-Royce power for these applications, valuing torque over maximum horsepower. Today, S106 Fleetmasters remain valued assets in small specialist fleets that appreciate their versatility and toughness decades after production ceased. Number 1. Foden Alpha 8x4 tipper/mixer 2000 to 2006. The Alpha 8x4 represents the final evolution of Foden's greatest strength, purpose-built trucks for construction work. Though built on DAF's CF platform, these trucks were specified with decades of Foden expertise. Operators could choose Cummins or ISME engines or Detroit diesel power, paired with Eaton transmissions and heavy-duty axles. The double-drive, double-diff configuration provided maximum traction and load capacity. Alpha 8x4S dominated tipper and ready-mix concrete applications. The modern DAF cab provided comfort previous Fodens never managed, important for 12-hour shifts. Today, Alpha 8x4s represent Foden's practical immortality. Though production ceased in 2006, these trucks work daily in quarries and construction sites. The DAF mechanicals ensure parts availability. The Foden specification ensures they're built tougher than standard DAF trucks. When the last Alpha left Leyland in July 2006, it ended Foden's story, But thousands of Alpha 8x4s ignored this obituary. They're still working, still refusing to die. That's the ultimate Foden legacy, trucks that outlive their makers. That's the story of Foden trucks, the ones that simply would not die.